Hello soccer fans, welcome to this packed episode of Limitless Soccer. Today in this packed month of June, the summer transfer window officially opened on the 1st of June, and you can be sure all the latest transfer news and highlights will be brought to you on Limitless Soccer. Also, the champions of this season UEFA Champions League was crowned earlier today, but as at the time of this production, that game was not concluded just yet. And also, the FIFA Under-20 World Cup is still going on in South Korea, and two African nations actually made it to the knockout stage. Zambia and of course Senegal made it to the round of 16, and Zambia, they did so well for themselves in that thriller against Germany, defeating the favorite of that particular tournament, Germany, by 4-3. Very tough game after extra time, of course. And of course, Mexico defeated Senegal, 10-man Senegal, in the round of 16. So it was only Zambia that moved on in that tournament. So only Zambia is representing Africa, and I hope that will be a repeat of what Ghana did some few years ago in Egypt in this tournament this year. So much for you today on the show. Welcome to Limitless Soccer. Let me take the first break on the show, and I'll be back with all the highlights of the event that happened last week in the world of soccer. My name is Bayonle Arashi. Welcome to Limitless Soccer. Welcome back. 2 weeks ago, the leagues across Europe ended, but of course last week it was the Cup of Finals in all those countries. In Germany, it was Cup of Final. In England, it was the FA Cup final. In Spain, it was Copa del Rey final, and in France as well, it was another Cup final. We have all the finals highlight for you in France, in Germany, in Spain, and in England. But the most painful one, of course, is the one that happened in England. I'm a big Chelsea Football Club fan, but of course, Arsene Wenger took that particular trophy away from Chelsea this season, at least winning something for the lovers of that particular football club, Arsenal Football Club. And of course, the exciting news also came out within the week that Arsene Wenger has signed another 2-year contract with Arsenal Football Club. The man has spent over 2 decades at that great club in England. Of course, I'm not a fan of Arsenal, but of course, all due respect goes to Arsene Wenger for the great job he has done with that big club at the Emirates Stadium. So the highlights of all the cup finals across the 4 European countries, and I'll be back on the show. This program is open to sponsorship, and of course, we are very engaging as well. Contact us on all our social media platforms at Midas Soccer. You be sure that you have your sponsor, your product, and of course services displayed properly on the show, and bet you that definitely your product will reach a larger audience, because this is soccer. This is the beautiful game, the highlights of all the cup finals across Europe, and I'll be back on the show. Well, sadly, that will be the last time we will ever see Captain Fantastic John Terry in the jersey of Chelsea, as the man eventually retired from the beautiful game. Also, another huge player retired this past week, Francesco Totti. They call him the Emperor of Roma, the Emperor of Rome. He also retired from football. Philipp Lahm also retired in Germany. So many football greats retiring at the end of the season. So many of them, really. Xavi Alonso as well also retired. Well, we will definitely see some new stars coming up in the game as well. Now, moving on to the Major League Soccer highlights, and we are featuring none other than our own Houston Dynamo. On May 31st, they welcomed Kansas City at the Compass Stadium here in Houston, Texas, and it was a great game for Houston Dynamo. We won that particular game. When I say we, I mean we, the Houstonians, won that game, and it's been a very decent season for the Houston Dynamo. So get to see the Major League Soccer highlight for this week, Houston Dynamo game, and of course I'll be back on the show.
Watch Limitless Soccer, a weekly magazine show that features highlights of top soccer leagues across Europe, as well as top goals scored every week by the stars of the game. There will also be highlights of US Major League Soccer. Soccer fans will have a chance to banter weekly and share their opinion on the game of the week on ABN channel 15.9 every Saturday at 1 p.m. For sponsorship and more information, contact the producer on 917-972-1254 or 832-490-8203. Limitless Soccer, bringing you the joy of the beautiful game.
Welcome back. That game was actually between Houston Dynamo and Real Salt Lake City, and Houston Dynamo did a very good job winning that game by 5-1. Up next on the show is a highlight of the FIFA Under-20 World Cup party going on in South Korea. You know, the Under-20 World Cup is actually the peak of the tournament for youth football players, where you get to see all those ones that have the opportunity to become great in this beautiful game of ours. You know, likes of Lionel Messi, Di Maria, so many of them were discovered at the Under-20 tournament. Of course, some already imagined in this tournament also. So new highlights this week for you on the show, and of course I'll be back, and of course the question of the week will follow right after the highlight next on the show. I'll be back. The program is still Limitless Soccer. Welcome back. As we're about to round off on the show today, let's quickly bring you the highlight of that particular friendly between the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The Super Eagles, it's been a while, right, that you see any highlight from Nigeria, but of course we have it for you today on the show. Remember, Corsica is a very, very tiny nation in France. Of course, not yet a member of FIFA or UEFA yet, but Nigeria played a friendly match against them 2 weeks ago, and of course they did very, very well. Nigeria couldn't beat them. The game ended 1-1. We have the short highlight of that game for you. And also Nigeria played Togo during the week. Of course, they won that particular game, and be sure the highlight of that match also, Nigeria-Togo, will be coming on this show next week, as well as the highlight of the UEFA Champions League. That's a promise that those highlights are going to come to you guys. But now let's give you the highlight of Nigeria versus Corsica game, and watch out for that goalkeeper from that team called Corsica. I'll be back to round off the show today. That's our time today and this week on Limitless Soccer. You see, I'm donning the United States jersey because the United States is doing so well at the Under-20 FIFA World Cup, and who knows, they might just be the champions of that tournament this year. You may say I'm dreaming, but nothing is impossible in the world of football. My name is Bayonle Arashi. For sponsorship details, please contact the producer of this show on the number showing on the screen, and of course you will be glad you put your products and services on this show. Special thanks to the production crew of this program, and until I come your way next week, my name is Bayonle Arashi. Keep doing sport, and God bless you guys. Bye bye now.